Hey, what's going on, KH community? I hope everyone is doing well, staying safe. Today, this is going to be a guide on how to properly set up the RNG manipulation for Critcal Data Org, which order the fights in the RNG manipulated route are going to be in, and the items and stats you're going to need to efficiently run this category. So as far as setting it up goes, this is going to be just for critical. Beginner works exactly the same, but level 1 is a little bit different. Just as simple, but different. But that doesn't matter because we're just going to be doing crit today. So you're going to load in whichever file it is that you have for Data Org. You're going to come straight into this room, nowhere else. There's going to be a few enemies that spawn up ahead. You're going to not allow them to do that, and you're going to fly directly over them. You are going to intentionally spawn the morning stars, however, that are in front of the GOA door. Those are the only enemies that you are going to allow spawn. Also, very important to note that if the morning stars are on screen for too long, they will naturally go into an attack. If you do not enter the GOA room quickly enough, and they do go into an attack, it will mess up the RNG manipulation. So it's best that you enter the room immediately. So it's gonna look like this. And now the RNG manipulation is set up. It's that simple. Now, going into the order of the fights. Please forgive me, by the way. I'm a brain dead ass randomizer player sometimes, so the portals are not the weapons of the Data Org members, instead they're the logos of the worlds. So forgive me for that. But going into it, the very first fight of the manipulator route is going to be Marluxia. And the few fights that follow after that are actually going to be all just right down the line. Sorry about my phone. So after Marluxia, you're going to go over to Roxas. From Roxas, you're going to go over to Larxene. From Larxene, you'll be moving over to Luxord. And then from Luxord, you'll be moving over to Axel. So the first 5 fights are straight down the line. You're going to get a little derailed now, as after Axel, you're actually going to go to Xigbar, which is this portal over here. From Xigbar, you will then be moving over to Zaldin. And then from Zaldin, you'll be moving over to the last fight in the RNG manipulated route, and that is Xemnas. Xemnas, counting as 2 fights, means that the first 9 fights in this category are manipulated. All of the fights after Xemnas are not. The manipulation ends here. But that's okay, because the fights after this are pretty consistent, and I say pretty because this category can be a pain sometimes, but they are consistent. So, going from Xemnas, you will then move over to Vexen, which is this portal here. From Vexen, you will then move over to Zexion. And then from Zexion, you will fly all the way across, straight to Lexaeus, which is this portal here. Then down to Syax, and then down to, last but not least, the Chat of Data Org, Demix. That is going to be the complete order of all of the manipulated fights. Since the last few fights in this category are not actually manipulated, you can technically do them in whichever order you please. But for time's sake and routing sake, I think it's most efficient that you go from Xemnas down to Vexen and what I showed you. So pretty much this route. And that is the route that you will be seeing every runner do. So now moving on to the items and stats. So the stats you're going to need for Sora is 83 strength, 83 magic, while you're holding the decisive pumpkin keyblade. That is going to be the main keyblade you use for this category. You'll also be using the Mysterious Abyss keyblade for Axel, and you'll also be using Hero's Crest for Xigbar and Zaldin. But for the most part, Decisive Pumpkin. So as long as when you're holding that Keyblade, your stats are 83, 83, you're good. Defense doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Because if you're looking this deep into like RNG manipulated stuff, you're not going to be getting hit anyway. So defense doesn't matter. So the items, you're going to need to make sure that all of your armor slots are Shock, Charm Plus. Your accessories can be whatever you want. Whatever helps your strength and magic get to the magic numbers that we just talked about before. And elixirs. A lot of them. This isn't like level 1, so you don't need mega elixirs. Elixirs work just fine. There's nothing wrong with them. Nothing changes. It won't mess anything up. Elixirs are okay. I promise. But if you feel like getting mega elixirs, be my guest. Go ahead and do that grind. For Donald, you're going to need 2 ribbons and or the grand ribbon. If you don't mind doing all the puzzles to get the grand ribbon, go ahead. 2 ribbons and a little bit of defense boost are fine. They should also be elixirs for him. I guess I have to refill that. So 2 ribbons for Donald. I got 3 here. Petite ribbon, ribbon, ribbon for Goofy. This should also be elixirs. I need to refill those. And then stats. So Sora's stats here, say 137, 136. That's just because I did PC things to set up the file. That doesn't make me any stronger than 83. Because Sora actually doesn't get any stronger or do any more damage, I should say, once he hits the ceiling, which is 83 for both. So even though I have 137, 136, I'm actually not doing any more damage at all than I would if you had 83 and 83. It's the exact same. As long as you have the 83, 83, you're good. For Donald, he needs 85 defense. The ribbons are going to help you achieve that. Strength and magic shouldn't matter. And for Goofy, 66 defense is good as well. The ribbons will help you achieve that as well. This will ensure that Donald and Goofy with those stats do not die to any of the fights. The fights that they are most prone to dying to are Marluxia, Larxene, and I'm sure there's one more I can't think of, but those are the ones that really you have to worry about. But that's going to be it for this video. I appreciate you if you checked it out. It's exciting that more people want to try to get into Data Org. So this is going to be the first of a few videos. I'm going to have more videos going over all of the fights specifically, more in depth. So if you're interested in that, please watch them, check them out, and make sure you guys take care of yourselves and stay safe.